I wanted to wish you a happy 10th anniversary by talking to you personally about the difference retirees make inside of our union, and I think inside of the broader fight that you just heard Steve talk about. Because without your leadership and without your perspective, it is not possible for working people, retirees, and young people to see the path forward in these dark days. And your perspective in building our organization inside the union and inside ARA helps us keep focus that even in the moments of greatest crisis, we can seize the greatest opportunity for all people in this country. And that you understand, and I have learned from retirees inside my own union, that it is possible to imagine, even as the federal government has the most ridiculous debate about how to cut core social programs in this country, that we can stand up, link arms with the unemployed, with students, with union members, with non-union workers, and push back against this ridiculous attack on basic rights in our country and say, enough is enough. We're not having it. And I was reminded about the SEIU chorus when I was introduced that I'm deeply grateful for, and if the rest of you will indulge me a shout out to my brothers and sisters in SEIU. For me, it's a way to describe how valuable the Alliance is inside our union and what a difference the role of the Alliance makes in the fight we have on behalf of all people in this country. I want to give a shout out to Louis Durand, who I saw earlier. He is a leader in Southern California. I've known him as a bargaining committee member and steward inside of his local union, but I now know him as a leader and activist that shows up on radio programs, organizes rallies to save Medicare and Social Security. And Alit Cyrus from 1199 New York, who's now a retiree in Florida, has designed a skills building workshop for our retirees and has helped people win the confidence of being able to volunteer in the 2008 and 2010 election cycles, from presidentials to county commission races. And that's the way in which I think the Alliance makes a huge difference for activating our retiree members, but also showing the working members of our union how important the alliance is between us. And a few years ago, Big Pharma was trying to pressure California board into tweaking what they called a radical law that required prescription drug labels to be big enough for seniors to read and to have some key information written in Spanish. Can you imagine that radical law, making it easier for people to read their labels? But the California Alliance stepped up and coordinated a visit by members to the board's hearing to support our members and gave the backbone to the board necessary to defeat Big Pharma. And so now those labels can be read. Yeah, exactly. But you and I both know that the work of the Alliance is far from over. And I know that we're going to hear shortly from my brother, Rich Trumka, the president of the AFL-CIO, who I'm sure will outline. Go ahead. Yes, that's right. The sort of core agenda that we all share together. So I just wanted to skip to a story about how the Alliance for Retired Americans has revitalized efforts inside of SEIU to expand our outreach and organizing of our retired members. And we just did a pilot project with United Healthcare Workers East, Local 1199 in Florida, where we believe we have 45,000 retirees in that state. And we know, obviously, from pension rolls, and we just did a pilot project, and within 2 weeks, signed up an additional 5,000 retirees to be active in the ARA activities in Florida. And you and I both know how important that'll be in 2012. And those people were just recruited into a Save Medicaid, Medicare action that was done this fall. And so we are deeply committed to expanding the participation and voice of retirees inside of SEIU, because we know that we need to join hands together to continue to press members of Congress to embrace an agenda that will create jobs in this country and bring relief to the middle class instead of cutting Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And this year, our Workers United retirees and the Alliance organized a huge protest in Chicago against Paul Ryan's plan to cut, cap, and privatize Medicare. And right now, our Workers United members in Pennsylvania are teaming up with the Pennsylvania Alliance to send their radical right-wing Senator Pat Toomey a message. Keep your hands off senior programs. Let seniors retire in dignity. We see all of this activity, and I'm sure you've witnessed, as we have, the amazing stand-up organizing that's been happening all across this country in the month of August. Our retired members, our union members from all across the labor movement, students and unemployed, we visited 157 members of Congress. 151 of them were Republican members of Congress that we wanted to send a loud and clear message to. This country is the wealthiest country in the world. This country has plenty of money to both get 15 million people back to work in good jobs where they can support their families and strengthen the core commitment we've made to the elders in this country by making sure we strengthen and retain Social Security and Medicare. And that is completely possible for us as a people to insist upon. And we see this fall as the way to frame the fight against the radical right-wing agenda that suggests that tax cuts are the way to create jobs. We have not seen, boo. And that we know that if we close oil and gas loopholes, we can create 2.5 million jobs. If we close the corporate jet loopholes and the second vacation home loopholes, there's lots of ways in which we can refinance getting America back to work. And if we were to look at the Bush tax cuts, for the millionaires and above, we could put trillions of dollars back into the U.S. economy and get millions of people working again right now. And that we see that agenda is key to making sure we protect the core social programs of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And then leading up to the 2012 election, we have a chance to ask ourselves as a country, what kind of country do we want to be? Do we want to decimate the programs that helped build the middle class in this country while we created retirement with dignity for our seniors? Do we want to see them on the chopping block so we can fund even more tax giveaway to the mega corporations and the CEO? No, we don't. So when you think about what the Alliance has accomplished in your first 10 years, and you think about the incredible leadership that you've developed and are encouraging throughout our retired membership, you play a vital role in winning the future for the next generation in this country and securing the future for the current generation. And I look forward to putting the full weight of our union and working across the labor movement to make sure that we join hands together, create a roar that Congress, the President, every governor, and every state legislature hears in this country, because this land is our land and it belongs to you and me, and it's time for us to stand up and take our country back, and I look forward to making it happen with you. Thank you. Thank you very much.